Death by Die. And welcome to the second episode of Let's Get Critical, reviewing episode 97 of Critical Role, the live show from Chicago. I'm Vandalworks, aka Big Kev, along with...
Jarrod or Boosh.
Here we go, that was much better than the last one, wasn't it? Alright then, so episode 97 in Chicago. I love the live shows, the atmosphere is so good. We get a fashion parade to start with, which was fucking pretty fantastic, I thought.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of glitter everywhere.
There was, yes, and a bit of hoity-toity.
Oh, it was something.
It was kind of weird not seeing Sam's big massive smile throughout the episode because of a certain ginger beard, but
and it was one of his first costumes that didn't focus entirely around his own crotch.
It was. That was very odd. I think we need a bit more crotch focus in Critical Role, definitely.
Yes.
Alright then, so running on from last week's episode, the party show up in Nicodranas. Again, they show no warning for Yusa. They just kind of show up and they don't mind. You know, it's fine. Not mentions the last time she saw Yeza. She was going to be a halfling. She says she has nap visions after saying that she's been meditating. I love the fact that she's like, maybe I could change every week, I could be a minotaur.
Yeah. And then Matt
I love the Ford is
it's
like
quick.
Mentions of a fling with thunderballs for not. Yeah. Sounds amazing, but in all the right places. I thought I was like.
And then Matt quickly shuts it down, going, "Nope, once a year only," just to stop any of that.
That was funny, fair play. That was mad. So they decided to go down to the harbour to find the rather superbly named ship that they own, the Ball Eater. That's right, the Ball Eater. If you've never seen it before, then they did call the ship Ball Eater.
Well, it was the Squall Eater, technically.
It was, yeah, but Ball Eater's awesome.
It's very mighty known.
Yeah. They do mention that there's a hell of a lot of ships there in the harbour. The largest one is the Blue Heaven. It seems that there's a lot of really intricately decorated crests on it, and there's a lot of military kind of surrounding it. Liam tries to distinguish if there's anything on a Redwood ship that they find out belongs to the Service Assembly, and he rolls a 1. Distracted by a dog, which I thought was cool that they named him Henry. So
yes, named after Brian Foster and Ashley Zane.
Yeah, and Not says he looks like a good lunch.
And his last days ago.
Yeah, and then Yasha's like, everything is a meal if prepared correctly. Babies are very tender.
I love Ashley's little comments this episode.
Yeah, that's it. She doesn't say an awful lot, but when she
does,
it's just that little bit of gold.
It's so Yasha. Yeah. And this episode particularly, she was really good at it.
Yeah, absolutely. So they eventually start making their way to the Ball Eater. It's at the end of the docks. They see Marius eating a sausage of some kind, and his wear is intentionally tattered, trying to make a bit of a fashion statement. Like the rest of the cast, to be fair.
Yes.
We get the return of the turtle.
The best turtle, and that hurts me saying that.
We'll go into that on something else, but
yes,
we get the crest of a shell coming up onto the deck, and it's Ollie. Welcomes Captain Tuthus back.
You can do an impression of Ollie, like your phenomenal impression last time.
I could try, but I failed badly again. What's the point in that? Maybe I'll work on him another time. I'll have to maybe prep him first and try.
I'm not doing
he mentions that the ship is ready to go whenever they're good, and they reckon he can make Marius a shipman in 3 years, which is optimistic, I think, there, Ollie, but they find out the Redwood ship is called the Wind of Eons. How up your own ass could you be, mentions Bo, which is fucking it is one of those names, isn't it? It's like one of those names I think if you come up with it you'd be proud of, and everyone else is like, oh, fucking get over yourself.
It's like the cringiest ship name that exists.
So they approach it to go and see Ludness, the righteous brand of Gardnet. I know you quite enjoyed this bit, didn't you?
Yes.
They go off to get the Ludness to make sure they got permission, and Jester initiates a bit of a dance-off.
Yeah, well, not a dance-off, more of a communal group dance.
It was, yeah.
But one of the guards joined in. That was my favourite moment.
I'm actually surprised because after like season 1, I remember when they were Geek and Sundry, they used to actually play that one dance game. So it'd be kind of amusing if they did actually do like an in-character cosplay kind of dance-off or something.
Potentially?
It could be kind of funny, you know? I don't know.
Be weird.
Yeah, I'm babbling a bit, but oh well, it's all good. I just want to see Sam as a leprechaun dancing, if I'm honest. You know, around his pot of gold.
That's probably a weekly thing for him.
Yeah. So, yeah, they get welcomed on the ship by Ludnus, who is with Lord Athesius Eluda, who's a diplomat. I think he's from the Service Assembly, was it? Is he the
There were
diplomat?
so many names that I got lost very quickly.
Yeah, it's a very roleplay heavy episode.
And no one's name is just John Smith. There's no one with just an easy name, is there? By the time I've remembered the last one, they've said
Robert
like
Sharp
more.
Is a very simple name.
Yeah.
The creepiest guy. He's got the most boring name. So,
that's the guy you should be suspicious of.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's also a Lord Desron Thane of Decatronus. So Caduceus and Caleb notice that Desron Thane seems a bit nervous about the Mighty Nine approaching and says he's going to leave. Bo and Jester kind of want to have a look at him, and they discover he's got a alright butt.
Yes.
Kind of an odd thing. Yeah, I think Marisha rolled really bad on a perception check to see if he had anything on his belt. Yeah, they both had 8, I think. Yeah.
I think Marisha rolled did Marisha roll a 1, then Jester rolled 8 because Jester wasn't even looking for the same thing. She just wanted to look at his butt.
I think so. Yeah, I think they both said 8 because I think they both say
potentially.
It. Yeah. They get invited to a party at the Marquis of Nicodranus' home, and the invitation is extended to Jester's mother after Jester says that, yes, Marion Lavore, to perform at the party. And then there's a nice little awkward conversation about so what is your transport? You know, we haven't really got room to have any other ones. And they're like, oh yeah, we've got a ship. It's like, oh, what's its name? Oh, it's the Bull. What? The Bull. Yeah, it's where the ball eater comes into effect, which is I like the fact that Caleb was like, no man knows more about the shit than the sea than this man before you. And Yash is just like, quiz him. Yeah. And Ford is like, oh, stomach's bad, bye.
I don't know if that was Yasha saying that, or if that was just Ashley trying to get Matt to do it, because Travis doesn't have it. Because Travis had that load of notes, didn't he? That he took when they were on the sea, but I don't think he had them with him.
Yeah. They do mention about inspecting the artifact. Desron's eyes dart about a little bit at this notion. So they decide to leave. Frumpkin the Frumpky sneaks into a cannon to listen on in the conversation between Desron and Ludnus after Ludnus asks him to come below deck for a little chat. I like the fact they mentioned the cannons seem quite arcane and they're unsure about how much damage they could potentially do. That's something I'm
this part
with.
As well was the fact that Matt had this written was phenomenal, because it wasn't just a little bit in case it happened. This was a whole thing he had written down.
Well, the thing is, it's like, did he have it written down, or is he just that good at coming up with it on the spot and having a rough idea? Both. Yeah, it's probably just like, if anyone does try to listen in, if someone goes invisible, because like obviously Not can do that and things like that.
Yeah, because as DMs we both know that when you get into a character, you can talk as them for a bit.
Yeah,
but that wasn't an off the cuff complete conversation.
Yeah, he knew that if that was going to happen, roughly what they might say.
Yeah, he probably had that to almost happen in multiple things.
No, anyone's a DM, it's very important to get into the perspective of that character to be able to do that.
It's
you know, I've had a bit of practice, and it's still difficult to do sometimes.
Oh, yes.
Especially when you come up with the same goddamn accent for a couple of them in a row. It's like, oops.
What weird DMs do that? I only have 4 voices, so it's fine.
Yeah, so he goes in there and has a little listen to see what happens. Ludnus kind of does like a little motion with his hands, and he mentions his
spell magic, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's a spell magic. And in front of him, Desron Thane starts floating, and he is a drow. It's motherfucking Ezek.
Dun dun dun!
I know. It's like I was waiting for the EastEnders drum roll to come in. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, I there was a little bit of me that kind of expected it in the episode where they were kind of hanging out with him.
Yeah.
A little bit. I was kind of like, oh, there's still something about him. The fact that he's...
I wasn't sure if that was just that, or if it's just because he floated, I didn't trust him. Because
well, yeah, I mean, let's be honest. If you had those boots with the roller skates in, that's just pure evil. The floating is okay.
The last, I would say, probably floating individual they made friends with was, what was that Mind Flayer back in season 1?
Oh, that's a name.
What was he called? I can't remember his name offhand.
Yeah,
but he was probably the last floating friend they made.
Yeah. I was so hoping, because obviously when Caleb goes through the vision of Frumpkin, he is blind and he can't hear anything. Yeah. So I was hoping that there was something afterwards when Desmond Thane walked back out. I was hoping like someone would look down in the water and be like, oh, look, there's a floater. Someone's had a poop. Kind of thing, and just add a little pause in there. I was just like,
Clarota was his name, by the way.
That's the guy. Yeah.
It's annoying me. It's okay.
Yeah, so big reveal. So the party go back to the ball eater.
No, hold on. In that conversation, there was a few very important things that showed he just wasn't a bad guy. Was the fact that he very much hinted the fact that he wasn't doing it maliciously. He specifically said the word friends in that sentence. Yeah, there was one line when he went about you should make friends or something along that line.
Yeah, you should try friend.
That hurt. That one hit.
Yeah, I remember Sam sort of mentioned as well. I feel really bad when we kill him.
Yes. Oh, Matt said. He said that. Not Sam. Not Matt. Sam. Yeah, he literally instantly said that, didn't he? He went. Everyone gave him a look.
Yeah, and I forgot the other little bit as well, where Bo kind of mentioned seagulls, pinnacle of beauty, and they're kind of like that's like a ridiculous thing to say. She's like, that's a genuine comment.
Yeah.
It's just,
they had that whole weird role play of them staring into the sea.
Yeah.
Then Ford goes, it would just be more obvious if you commented on the sea rather than making up these weird descriptions.
Yeah, so the party go back to the ball eater and Caleb tells them, recites everything because he's just got a fantastic
we missed something here as well, didn't we, in the stream? Because they had technical difficulties.
There was a couple of technical
So there was a bit we kind of jumped from leaving to the ship.
Yeah. It wasn't too much. I don't think we missed an awful lot anyway.
I don't think we did.
They had a really interesting conversation there about Essek and like how they feel about him, what they think he's up to, and things like that.
How they should kill him.
Well, it is that kind of thing where it's like, well, what's his intentions?
It could go so many different ways.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see going on, like even after like the end of how the episode ended, how they kind of react to him and interact and stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting the next few episodes.
So they are about going to the party to try and like kind of find out what's going on. And Jess is saying about, maybe we'll just talk about Essek at the party to make him feel really awkward. And
yes,
that's quite.
They were about talking to him, wasn't it? Like, we have this awesome friend called Essek, and just doing all that.
Yeah, I love the fact that they're like, Ford can disguise himself as Desmond Thane and get on the ship.
Yeah, it's such a convoluted plan.
Yeah. Caleb is just like, look, we're dealing with the most ruthless practitioners of the Arcane and the Empire. But the best bit is Jess, where she's just, like she's disappointed with the thing, but then she's like, I forgot to ask Ludinus if he wanted a tattoo.
Yes.
Which is just amusing. And then she thinks about maybe sending a message to Essek while he's...
I was thinking that exact plan just before she said it as well. I was like, because that...
Absolutely. I was surprised she didn't think of it earlier, because the amount of time she messages people as well.
Yeah. But, Laura Bailey has been on form for about the last 5 to 10 episodes more than ever.
Yeah.
I think since the episode of The Hag, it's been Chester has been on fire.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish we'd have started this series just so we could have talked about that episode.
We talked about that so much.
Yeah.
2 weeks we were talking about that.
We had a terrible few sessions of Rocket League trying to... we were talking about that. So they talk about the components and all that to get all them sorted to turn Not back.
Yes.
Bo asks about... if you've got, like, if you can tattoo someone, if you can scry on it and stuff.
Yeah, it was a weird play. I don't...
Yeah, I think it was that thing of, like, if you're not familiar with someone, it's a little bit harder to scry on them in there. So I think it's one of those things where if you can maybe tattoo someone in porn.
But then you have then you know the person. So
I know, that's what I was thinking. But I like the fact that in the game you wouldn't know that.
I understand her thought process of can you just scry on the tattoo rather than the person, but
Bo's not going to know that, is she? She thinks maybe if you mark them, it's going to help better and stuff, which is fair. And I like the fact it's like, oh, if I tattooed your bicep, I'd have intimate knowledge of your bicep. And Yash is just like, ah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of flirting in this episode as well.
Oh, 100%.
Which was kind of a funny. So they get back to the lavish chateau. Luke runs down the stairs with a wooden sword, and he's like, oh, where's my mom? And they're like, oh, she'll be making herself look pretty for you. She's coming soon. And, and the jester says about a paint stash.
Yes.
They go up. They go see Marion Laveau, who's reading a book on her bed. Jester mentions that she's got a tattoo.
Matt looked initially like the most disappointed parent ever, quickly into let me see it first, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was
the line as well where he replies as Mario and he's like, oh, you were the gem you always went.
Yes.
Which was just like, oh, it was really nice.
His like spontaneous role play is so good.
Yeah. He's such a good role playing parent.
Yes.
Like
he's
even
very
the gentleman
good.
was kind of good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably because he kind of is in every session of Critical Role.
He's got a lot of fucking practice, let's be fair. That's, like 200 and something episodes now of Critical Role left on this, and whatever else they've done.
And how many years before that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They also ask Marion if they can use the bathtub to put clay in, and another one of Matt's awesome lines, I'm not one to kick shame. Which was fantastic.
It was so good. Yeah. And I love the fact he kept going with that. He was like, yeah, that's exactly what she would think, and he's just going to continue thinking that.
Oh, absolutely. They also bring up the Traveller to her, because obviously Jester would have talked about the Traveller as a child, and he's, the usual kind of imaginary friend, but they do say that they've met him and that she may have seen him.
Oh, and she I think she was very close to killing Ford for a moment.
Yeah.
She was like, you promised to protect him, what is going on?
Yeah. Matt has those, that kind of like motherly, I'm going to kill you if you do something to my daughter look.
Yeah, like the scary eyes.
Yeah. Because he does do it quite worried, and Bo kind of replies with, it is a little predatory, let's be honest.
Which, to be fair, it is. Yeah. He crept into a kid's room for years.
Absolutely. And he kind of made himself as a kid as well.
Yeah, it was.
That's really creepy.
Suspect.
Like if I had a kid and someone did that to my kid on like a messenger, I'd be like, no, get off.
Yeah,
get off.
I imagine if they just go into the room.
Yeah, it's But then I do like the fact that Bo also mentions like, if anything, she's the god.
Yes,
which is quite a nice little comment. They ask her as well then about going to the party. She's been trying to make a bit of an effort about getting over her agoraphobia, so she says she'll make an effort as long as Jester's going to be there.
Yes.
Caleb mentions that the Ruby of the Sea will be a good distraction, entertaining people with her fantastic singing. Jester mentions if Lord Sharp will be there, who is the guy who gave problems to Marion Laveau during the season. They kind of had a bit of a...
Is that with the whole gin bit? Was that bit where they had the thing trapped under the...
I think so.
Was that bit?
Yeah.
They had like the gin... Didn't they screw something massively up in that bit?
Yeah, that was a different thing, sorry. That was another guy that was messing around with her who worked in the place. Robert Sharp is the one that Jester locked out in the balcony.
Oh,
because that's where the bit later on comes in.
Yes,
I got confused with that as well. It took me a little while to.
Because there was that one with the whole gym where they screwed up the waterways or something, and we don't really know what happened with that.
Yeah, but he was controlling the waterworks.
Yeah, and we don't really.
And then they kind of set him free, which was kind of mad. So I think it was just one of those things. He said, it'll probably get sorted in the next couple of weeks." But
yeah, they'll find a way.
Yeah, so as they're talking, Yeza turns up from grocery shopping. Not at this point is invisible. She's kind of like, I want to wait until he's there, so he kind of like...
Also, she's never seen her as a goblin.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's like, he kind of goes off with a spring in his step when they tell him that she'll be back in a bit. And Jester says, I bet he's going to go wash his junk. which I'm Jester, I gotta be honest.
The accent.
I know, it's bad. I don't care. It's fine. Screw you, buddy. So the Mighty Nine then go and prepare for the ritual. They put the clay in the bathtub for Not to climb in. They kind of make a little scoop in it, I think it was. So she climbs in and gets ready.
Yeah, they basically use ribbon, like some sort of sheet, wasn't it, to basically make a little cocoon.
The ribbon was for the door handle.
Yeah, they also put something in the bath, didn't they?
Yeah, that was the clay.
No, before that, they put like a
Oh,
sheet
there was
down.
it was one of the Traveller cloaks.
Oh, that was it, yes.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, so they kind of get her ready. I like the fact that Caleb is like, oh, are you ready? And Not replies no, but let's do it anyway. And then Yasha is like, oh, do you want a sip of your wine? And Not is like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool.
That was
as
a good
well.
moment.
You know. And I like the fact that she does take a moment where it's like, if things don't work or it goes wrong, she takes a moment to thank everyone individually. And I love the bit where she says to Ford, sorry I call you weak, but it's only because I know you're strong enough to take it. It was just like, oh, bless. And she also mentions that Caleb is the second love of her life, and Caleb is like, I love you too, Veth the Brave.
Also, really whenever Sam makes a speech like this, I don't trust him anymore.
I know, yeah. It is that.
Because I swear, I don't know if Veth's going to stick around, that's the issue. But I feel like that line that our other half says later, Yeza, kind of cements that a bit, but it's Sam, so you never know how he wants to screw with.
We'll mention that in a bit now.
Yeah.
So the ritual begins. It's an hour-long ritual, I believe. So there's some symbols start appearing. They kind of start glowing orange and get brighter as it goes along. Not starts to like float in the air a little bit, and the cocoon of where the clay kind of like goes around her, kind of like brightens as well, which is cool. And
it's almost got symmetry of the Ford cocoon as well.
Yeah, it was
the rebirth thing.
The McThing.
Yeah, the old rebirth.
My favourite meal from McDonald's.
That is probably what the ingredients are to most of them.
Yeah. The McThing's bumholes. So as the final parts of the ritual happens, Caleb shouts the final words, and Veth Bernardo is there. And Caleb mentions, you are not the goblin I first met. Good to meet you again. She kind of has a look in the mirror, curtsies and twists her hair a little bit, and puts on a really sultry voice, and then coughs and goes back to the original voice, which is hilarious.
I love that bit so much.
It helps as well that, like, as Sam was doing it, you watch him on the stream, and it's just like he's just dressed as a leprechaun with a big ginger beard, so you can't see him kind of.
You also just can't take him seriously.
I know.
When he was doing the whole serious emotional speech, you're dressed as a leprechaun.
Yeah. It was hilarious. Fair play. So Yeza knocks Worody after hearing the bathtub explode, because they didn't really want to destroy the bathtub, but they
promised they wouldn't damage the bathtub.
Yeah, and Bo responds with, hang on, we're just getting dressed.
Yes, for some
which is
reason.
funny. So Veth opens the door, she tilts him over, give him a kiss, and feel different, regular amount of teeth, which was quite amusing.
Yeah.
And then they're asking about Luke, who then shoots her in the head with a wooden crossbow bolt, which was quite amusing. So,
Talks about teaching him to aim inside aim or something, isn't it?
Inside aim below the
below
neck.
the head,
yeah. And then Ford is, he thanks Yeza for sharing her with us. So Veth and Caleb suffer a point of exhaustion from the ritual, which I like that, because it's one of those things you've got to kind of prep for and have a couple of days to rest after it.
Also, that was the moment where Yeza said, I'm not sharing
it was just after
her
this bit.
with you.
Yeah, it was just after this bit.
Yeah.
I hate to correct you, I haven't lent it to you guys, she isn't mine.
Yeah.
And then Veth replies, like, down the corridor, ready, Yeza! I'm just like...
Let's not relive the Sam for the next about 10-15 minutes. Let's just...
the little mannerisms he was doing, and it was just watching
mimicking actions.
Yeah. I don't think we need to say what actions, I think they made up for last time.
You can put a clip in. I'll let you edit that. You can just put a small clip in on loop of him doing that.
No, definitely not. So they decide to do some little to-do jobs and stuff. So Caleb wants to purchase a Globe of Invulnerability scroll. Jester tries to think of where they can go, but there's nowhere really in town to do it because it's a port city, so everything gets moved from there. But they do mention about Yusa, so they go to see him, and he gives the scroll basically to Caleb with the components, the materials and stuff to do it.
Yes.
As long as he trades him Willie the Golem, who they picked up in the Silver Fun Bowl. Yeah.
Or as you wrote, Billy.
Oi, lies. I thought it was Billy. I like the name Billy for a golem.
It's because it was German, wasn't it? So it was like Willy.
Yeah, it's Willy. Yeah, das ist mein Willy.
Globe of Invulnerability he has specifically took in case there's a combat with Essek. Or a combat of mages.
Yeah, I think
because
it's also if a war breaks out in the sea, because if there's a lot of cannons flying around and they set that up, then I mean, it's only 5th level or lower, depending on how
physical things can still pass through. I'm pretty sure though. So if like a cannon shot comes in, that won't stop it.
Oh, that's true there. Yes,
it's literally magical. For like I'm pretty sure he goes like, if I have to fight Essex, I can put this up and force him to only burn big things.
I think this is going to be a little bit like Sam's counterspell, where it may not come into the next few episodes, but later on down the line, when they're like, like level 18 or whatever, and they get to cast it at the highest level.
And the fact you can insta-cast it. Yeah, because say you cast it at like 9th level.
Yeah.
What is it, only 9th level spells that can pass through?
Yeah. It's whatever level you cast it at, spells one level lower.
You can't get 10th level spells.
No.
So if you cast it at 9th, it blocks everything.
Well, no, it's 8th level or lower, because it's always a level. When you cast a spell using a spell slot of 7th level or higher, the barrier blocks spells of 1 level.
Oh, I was misreading the 1 level higher bit, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, only like wish, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Finger a
So, so he manages to get that deal sorted. Jester and Caduceus build up 25 platinum to get some clothes to the party. And there's a lot of fish jokes. At this point,
a lot of fish.
This is
jokes.
where there's a lot of awkward flirting between Yasha and Bo. The
lobster
taco.
Just see, during all this, you can just see Laura and Taliesin planning frantically of what everyone's wearing.
Yeah. Like we talked about, like Taliesin having fun last week. I think this bit,
the prankster in him, ever since he's met his family, because I know he mentioned it when Caduceus first came along, and now he's almost got nothing to worry about. Mm-hmm. It's really coming out.
Yeah. But I think Taliesin's all about the pranks and the fashion at this point.
Yes. Well, to be honest, it sounds like real Taliesin.
Yeah. So, so they end up getting Caleb a long-fitted black cloak with silver embroidery. Bo gets a tailored man suit, slate grey with cobbled blue ascot. I like the fact that Matt said he's going to get this for Marisha for Christmas.
No, he specifically said, why did you do this? Now I have to.
So they get forwards and fitted pants, a navy suit coat, and a massive pirate hat. Just because they were taking a piss, but he's like, I'm going to wear it. Yeah. Veth gets a yellow princess cut evening gown with silver buttons, lots of buttons. Caduceus, a mint green frock coat, which I'd love to see. That sounds amazing. Yes. Jester has a pink evening gown. Not surprised at all.
Nope.
She's going for pink. And then they say that Marion has a purple evening gown that kind of mirrors Jester's, like an upside down one. I kind of imagine Morticia from the Addams Family. I gotta be honest.
You also miss Yasha, by the way, I think.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, with a long black fitted velvet dress.
And the fan art of this is phenomenal.
I haven't seen it. I'll be honest.
Oh, some of it is so good. Also, Yasha looks like it's just like her bare, like just like muscles. Like looks like, oh my god, like you're just gonna beat the living hell out of someone.
If any artists are listening to this somehow, and you want to waste like half hour of your life away, and you want your art to be, shown, then we'd happily put it on the thing as well to show off.
Can always saw it on Twitter as well.
Yeah. So they decide to go to the party then. The Marquis de Mesnay. It's led in by the guards. There's some music playing. There's lots of food and drink being passed around. Many people there. Robert Sharp is in there, that Jester had a confrontation with when she was a younger.
Yeah, it was when there's a kid, weren't it? That was that one, right?
I loved Ashley squaring at having like attention as Yasha.
Yes.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, it was so good.
Jester kind of loses her rag, and she kind of charms him then after he starts being a bit of an asshole. Excuse me. And tells him that her gloves are on a balcony, so he goes to retrieve them after she uses charm person. Then she locks him out there, and I love the fact that Veth comes up behind and uses the dagger of denial to keep him out there, which can never be unlocked unless that dagger is used again.
I think that's the first or second time that dagger's been used.
Second time, because they did use it.
It was used on the ship, wasn't it?
I remember them using it where they picked it up. I think they used it to lock something there when Yasha was turned.
Right.
In that dungeon place. I can't remember the name of it now.
There's a lot of times where they said they could have used it but forgot it existed.
Yeah. It is one of those items, so when it's like, it's a dagger, you can hit people with it and stuff, and it's just normal damage, but yeah, the functionality, I like it when people use it for like random story things instead of like maybe like a proper like function thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Caduceus puts Bo on a trip, gives her some magic mushrooms, give it a true seeing, so she starts seeing.
I love the fact that that is not part of the spell at all. Yet she just went.
It is
this
now.
Is how it works. This is canon now.
Yeah, so she does see that there's several people in the place using like minor illusions and to change their appearance to make them look slimmer or make them look younger.
Yeah, a lot of them
there's
are
one,
bigger people.
Yeah, the one I was definitely the most interesting is a Dragonborn. I think he was black.
He was a black scale Dragonborn, which instantly
with a tail. Cool. Yeah, which I also found out as well, going on from last episode. Tailed Dragonborns lived up in the floating area of Draconia. Yes. And the ones that didn't have it were kind of like treated like slaves.
Yes, because when they went back in campaign 1, they didn't meet any of the tailed ones, because obviously like they'd all died when the city crashed on Brick World. Like as far as we know, they'd all gone. Yeah, and there was just a couple of the other ones left. Yeah, so that's quite. I think Tiberius had a tail. Yeah, I know his father was part of the nobility, wasn't he, and his brother. So they do notice Desmond Thane is there, but he seems to be keeping his distance away from them. I wonder why, you know. Yeah, it's just a perfectly normal dude.
Yeah, I love the fact that Sam chooses to go invisible to kind of like follow him around and stuff.
He may be Veth now, but it's still the person hasn't changed.
Yeah,
if anything, more extreme.
Yeah, I love the fact that Jester kind of goes up to him and just talks him into a corner almost.
Yeah,
talking about.
It's how I imagine Jester being, though. I would just talk to you
you wouldn't think it's any.
Not.
You wouldn't think it's any different to how she normally is, kind of thing. Her mother starts singing and she starts talking to her, and Veth slips in a paralysis potion. I
don't think it was a potion. I think it was like.
It was a vial, wasn't it?
It was a vial from something they'd fought.
Yeah.
So like a creature.
Well, they couldn't even remember what animal it was. Could they?
No, it was.
Like, I've got this vial with this stuff.
Paralysis oil.
Yeah. So I was kind of wondering if that from the funky goblin, but back in
God knows
in your house. But Matt fails the save badly.
6 or something like that.
Yeah, it's a 5 or 6 one there. So he starts weakening and. Jester's like, and manages to get him out the room. As the vial kind of wears off the paralysis oil, Caleb slaps the manacles of stasis on him,
which I forgot even existed.
I know. Well, yeah, because he was asking about the manacles last episode, wasn't he? But this is a different set completely. So so he does manage to teleport up 30 foot away, but Caduceus commands him to stop, and he does.
I love command.
Yeah, it's hilarious. So they convince him to go and talk, and they head off to the Ball Eater. They try and get Bo and Ford to go they're quizzing the Dragonborn, but they make a mockery of it. The Dragonborn just basically wants to be left alone. He's kind of, he wants to keep things on the quiet, and as they're kind of bickering, he just disappears. They haven't even got a clue where he is.
Well, they keep on messaging Bo, and Bo's thinking it's part of the trip, isn't it? She's like, can you hear these voices too?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
I love the imagery of while Jester's mother's singing.
The eel
there's
things.
Like this fish flying around, spirits and stuff. And, that's really cool. So,
they have just left her. The agoraphobic, they have just left at a party.
That is true. That is very true. I didn't even think of that.
She was like, I'll only go if you all go with me, and they've just abandoned her.
To be fair, after they talk to Essex, they do have a chance to get back there to sort that out, so maybe they will.
I'm surprised the Minotaur's not there.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. How...
As the bodyguard.
Yeah, how welcome are Minotaurs in... places, because the only Minotaurs we've saw were back up in...
Who is brave enough to say otherwise?
That's true. I like Minotaurs. I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah, I've got one ready to play at some point.
They all get back to the Ball Eater eventually. Essex drops the illusion, and then he completely opens up to the Mighty
Essex,
Nine.
I thought you meant matey. I didn't realise it was Essex at all. God.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, just magically.
I love this bit where they all just act surprised.
yeah. Bless him. So he does mention that he gave the 2 beacons to the Empire because they may be able to research them better. So
he just wants to. purely is out for himself, but not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a malicious way to anyone. But it's more like doesn't care what happens to others.
Yeah, there is a little bit of that. I mean, you think of the thousands who died in the war because...
I liked their one line where they said... he basically described his backstory and went, "You're part of the Mighty Nine." I'm like, yeah, he has literally got the same...
Well, I've got that noted down, and I was going to bring that up at the end because that is how the episode ends. So you've kind of rushed ahead there.
Yeah, I'm not... There's so much text.
Screw you. Someone's got to keep the notes. Yeah, so obviously when the Mighty Nine showed up with one of the beacons, he was kind of a bit astounded by that, but he wanted to keep close to them to find out what was going on, so they weren't going to find out what was going on, and ended up becoming friends with them and really admiring them and the paths that they've all been on. Caleb mentions that the parallels between Essex's journey and the Mighty Nines are so similar, and that we can choose to do something and leave it better than it was before. Because I think Caleb's story is very similar in that sense.
They're two sides of a coin, those two.
Yeah,
one Empire,
absolutely.
one Jorhassian. They're basically the same person.
Yeah.
Because they say one is literally him without the Mighty Nine, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So Veth says, we're supposed to turn the other way and pretend you're not all a bunch of traitors? Yeah, why not? Excuse me, Caleb mentions that he thinks the Empire or Service Assembly is still likely to do something and is very wary about the whole meeting, and I'm very much with that as well. I'm expecting some huge event. Personally, if I was in the Mighty Nine, I would be like, let's let him to it. Let's just find out what happens afterwards. We don't need to be there and die. I kind of expected Ukatoa to kind of like be summoned and just like swallow everything. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I am genuinely nervous about the whole meeting thing. Like, not travel a con or anything.
It's that thing of it feels like it should be a trap, but is that too obvious it's a trap? Is it just going to be a normal meeting, or is there going to be... And do you know when you're like, Ukatoa is not done?
Yeah.
Because wasn't there something to do with when the champion basically goes?
Yeah, another one comes. Yeah,
another one comes. They killed Avantika.
Yeah, there's more than one as well.
Someone's going to be hunting Ford.
Yeah, there's going to be a couple of people.
His old sailor man, we know he's alive.
Yeah.
They've got to find him. And do you know when you're like, there's so many loose ends that do you know when you're like, they're in the middle of the ocean?
Yeah.
And as Matt Mercer and as a DM myself, I'm like, a Kraken appearing at this would be the coolest moment ever if they're just like, Caduceus's like passive just know it ripples under the water and then a tentacle just launches out.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Caleb's going to turn Frumpkin into the octopus again. Just so we can start wearing it.
Wear that hat. We can get the actual hat as well.
Yeah. No, I'm really expecting, because of the way Caleb talks about Trent being the worst of the service assembly, that he's going to turn on Ludinus kind of thing and go against the whole thing. I think they're going to do something they're going to try and take out the Dynasty fleet and be like, right, we'll invade the Dynasty.
See, it's also that thing, or is he not actually as bad as they say? It could almost go. It's almost like, actually, he's done some bad things, but at the end of the day, Essex done some terrible things, yet they seem to trust him. It's only because it was done to Caleb that they'd fine with it almost. And you're like, he could almost be I was doing this for a greater good because of this is coming.
And the fact that Ludinus says that the practices are still ongoing. Yes. Because obviously Caleb's got... His arm is covered with scars.
His burn marks.
They did a lot of stuff. So, So Veth mentions to Essek, you're a broken person who had ill intentions and wandered aimlessly into a path with no idea how to complete it. And along the way you found a heart. He sounds like all of them. Welcome to the Mighty Nine. Yeah. It was a really nice little way to end the episode. I'm terrified to see what's going to happen next.
I'm genuinely... So one of the first... I think the last time I genuinely felt worried for the party was probably Vecna.
Yeah, I think for me it was the whole thing when they were going with Yasha to follow
I didn't feel worried then so much.
I did a little bit
because I feel like they had outs.
A little bit. It was like when the way Matt was describing the entire dungeon, where he was like that really long bridge and like the almost eternal drop, and when they were making a noise, there was all these like voices and oh yeah, you're going to start going crazy. That was kind of freaky.
This is a worry. It's not in the worry that they could all die. It's the worry of this could change everything depending on how this goes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think of like the first season where it's basically, you know, there's all these things happening and the Chroma Conclave turns up. And
it does feel like it's leading to Chroma Conclave V2.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like, if that's not terrifying enough, you've got Vecna appears on a massive giant titan that's going to just stand on a city and they've got to try and stop him.
Because we haven't got a big arc at the moment because the Yasha one was done, so it feels like dealing with Uk'otoa could be a really cool way to go. Yeah. So, you know, they've partially freed him. And I'm not sure if that's going to affect anything, whether he's almost got some influence now more in the like material plane. Because at the end of the day, they undid some of the shackles. They just left one, I think.
Possibly. I don't know if they had many shackles undone yet.
I think there was 3 or 4 in total. I know they did 1 or 2, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they might have done 1. I don't think they did many. Right, I think they managed to stop them fairly early on. But,
well, because Ford did one of them, didn't he? Him and Avance could race to it.
Oh, yeah.
They undid one themselves.
True. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I was thinking of the shackles. Oh, no, because that's... Oh, yeah. I'm getting confused with when Yasha was saying that she hadn't done any of the shackles.
This is different.
Yeah, because I was kind of wondering if... what was the name of that one now? The other god. The Destroyer god.
Tharizdun.
Tharizdun, yeah. I was wondering if that and Uk'otoa were almost kind of the same entity. Just different names, because they're both...
No, Tharizdun is genuinely a god in D&D. Uk'otoa is a... Yeah. Tharizdun is actually canon, though, I guess, is the difference. That he's genuinely a god. Because I know in High Rollers, in the first season of that, there was a beholder with a god complex who thought he was Tharizdun, and he was my favourite NPC. So he just ran around shouting people to order him because he thought he was a god.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I think Tharizdun was like a giant, like, almost like a worm creature kind of thing.
Tharizdun.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay. He's not nice looking. He's like a big fireman.
Oh, is he like that, is he?
I'm looking at images. He's like... Yeah, he's quite demonish by the looks of that picture.
Yeah, he looks very different to what I was expecting. He looks kind of Balroggy, like Bloodthirster from Warhammer. Yeah, I thought he was going to be a bit different to that, I'll be honest. But
yeah, the Chained Oblivion.
Yeah.
He's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, so that's going to be very intriguing to see what the next episode will be. Yeah. Because I presume they're going to fast forward a week or so on the travel.
It feels like that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting Ford to have a dream or something as well.
It feels like...
calls out to him.
Because it was the whole thing, wasn't it? Is the further he got away from the ocean.
Yeah.
The angry, and it could almost be you're back now.
Yeah. It could be that where he got rid of the sword, that's just cut the tie. Completely.
It could be.
But...
that seems too simple.
it's too simple for Mad.
Yeah.
I think. But, yeah.
We've also got to do most valuable roleplay.
I was just about to say that. Go on then, you can go first. Who do you think this week?
Oh, it's just the hardest episode I think ever to decide.
I know, there was so much role-playing going on in this episode.
Because I think like Sam's got to get a shout-out, Matt's got to get a shout-out, Bo for her trip's got to get a shout-out. But the out-of-left-field one I want to give is Ashley.
Yeah?
I think for her little comments, I feel like she's really getting into Yasha now as a comfort level and learning the character properly after being out for so long. Yeah. And it's good to see, because I feel like everyone else is kind of doing their normal level, whereas if Ashley's like finally learnt it. Whereas I feel like otherwise we could give it to Laura Bailey every week.
Potentially, yeah. I think always gets those moments. I think Liam plays it well because he has to talk to Essex, someone who he's become to be good friends with. And
I think that's where Matt should always get it as well.
Yeah, for me, I've got to give it to Matt just because I know you were saying that like Yasha's coming into her own and it was better than what she might have been normally. Yeah, I think for Matt especially this week, he had to have a lot of conversations with himself and did it so well.
Oh, I hate doing that as a DM.
Yeah, it is so difficult, but.
Oh, especially when you only have 4 voices. It's better if you can do accents, but when you've got very limited voice to choose from.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about doing accents, obviously.
That's why I won't even try.
Yeah, so you're going to give it to Ashley? To Ashley, I got to give it to Matt, I think, just for all the stuff that he had to do, just for he role-played Ollie, you know what I mean? I mean, that's a big buff as well, you know?
Yeah, but anyone, if anyone ever plays a turtle, they're going to get it off me every week. You know that for a fact.
Yeah, so I think Matt's going to have it this week. But I think Ashley, honourable mention. Definitely. 100%. I think the entire cast honourable mention, to be fair.
It was the best live show I think they've done.
Yeah. And it was funny as well, because there's no fight. They went for initiative to get Essex when he was Desron.
Yeah.
But there was no fight, and it was an incredible episode. You know, a lot of people watch D&D because...
for a while.
That's possible.
Because if we go the meeting, nothing breaks out there, then TravellerCon, I have a horrible feeling something might invade TravellerCon.
Well, Matt may have to make up for it. Oh, they're going to a volcano. That's a good time for a god to turn up. Perhaps from the sea. That's where Ukatoa makes a bit of a show in.
I'm trying to think what else there is. There's so many things that could turn... Or it could just be something completely new.
Yeah, maybe the fact that, like, Artegan is kind of like, I kind of want to, like, be worshipped a bit like a god, and Ukatoa is like, nah, I'm going to come and stop this.
Yeah.
And, you know, they have a bit of a...
Well, then there's a lot of, like, lesser beings now starting to come into play.
Yeah.
The one I'm kind of still interested in, as a little throwback, is Kishor's one. From Campaign 1. That god that he was the only follower to.
Yeah.
That we still know nothing about.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to stay that way. But it would be nice, perhaps, at some point. I mean, it's one of those things, because it's set, like, many years after Campaign 1.
Yeah, you don't know if there's almost, like, if they go back over the continent, there could be a little thing start to, like, build for it. You never know.
It might be one of those things that's either kind of, like, just slowly, like, you know, maybe there's, like...
It may not be to another campaign, but, like, it almost was that sort of thing that will come into fact at some point.
Yeah, it might be one of those things that's just stamped out and just never... It died with him kind of thing, or...
Yeah, Wolf Fidel may just have plans for it as well if he ever wants to guest again. You never know, he may come back, like, as an old version of Kishor in a future campaign, or in this one.
Oh, imagine how grumpy he would be.
I think he'd be, like, 70 now.
Yeah. God, he'd be grumpier than...
What, is this his 50
years,
or is this 20 years after Campaign 1? Which one?
20 years, I think.
So he'd probably be about 50-ish.
Yeah. Yeah. with kids.
Yeah.
With kids.
Half teething children.
Yeah, that'd be very interesting. So that was episode 97 of Critical Role. This is the second episode of Let's Get Critical. Our Twitter handles will be on the screen if you want to come and follow us, find out what's going on, and berate us for terrible voice attempts, which I think I've avoided mostly.
I'll do that for them, it's fine.
Yeah, you always do. So, thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Adios.